All right. Good day, everybody. This is Emar Substitute, the Sports Inquirer, and we're joined by Brett Surrency from Georgia State Men's Soccer. Brett, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Fighting Peaches. Yeah, let's go over this past weekend. You able to split some MAC conference contests. We'll start with the win over Western Michigan on October 22nd. You had two goals from Ethan Sassine. You were able to hold on to the victory. Just what did you see from the team and earning that victory?
Yeah, no, it was a great opening game of the weekend. Obviously, these two games in 3 days are really challenging. We really try and take them, as cliche as it sounds, as one at a time. So our full focus going into the weekend was Western Michigan. So I was happy the guys were able to do just that. Focus on the task at hand, and I thought we put together a pretty good performance against a really big physical Western Michigan team. So yeah, obviously super pleased to get the win and yeah, the important 3 points.
Yeah, and what about Ethan? He leads the team in scoring. He's a freshman that's come in and made immediate contributions to the team.
Yeah, no, Sass is a bundle of energy, and I think the guys feed off that as well too. And he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's just, yeah, he's a breath of fresh air because he goes about things the right way. He's competitive. He works really, really hard, and it's fun to watch those guys be rewarded, and in this case, in the form of goals for him. So, super happy for him, but know that it's not by mistake. It's by the work that he's put into it. So, excited to see him accomplish some of those things.
Excuse me. Yeah, and that win also gave you 10 victories this season. So this is the fifth time in 6 years you've had at least 10 victories in a year. And then the only one you didn't was last year, but that was a shortened season due to the pandemic. What does that say about the consistency of the program and what you've built at Georgia State?
Yeah, I mean, I think 10 wins usually marks a pretty decent season in college soccer. I think it's I don't know that it's necessarily something that we circle to get towards per se, but yeah, I think in particular maybe after the last 2 years, being able to one, play games, and two, win a decent amount of them, puts things certainly in perspective. Just because our regular routine has sort of been messed up for the last 18 months. So I don't know that we spent too much time thinking about it, to be honest with you, but it's a cool thing for the players because they put a lot of work into it. And I think the more wins you see by your program's names, the greater pride that you take into it. And I think our guys feel that. They may not outwardly say it or talk about it as much, but I think it's certainly something that they feel.
And you did drop your match against nationally ranked Northern Illinois 2-1 on October 24th. Justin Guest scored a goal, but defensively, you were outshot 24-7, required Gunther Rankenberg to make a season high 9 saves. Most shots you've given up all season. What was it about their offense or maybe your defensive issues that led to so many scoring chances for them?
Yeah, we had a little change in personnel, that we didn't necessarily anticipate. So that could have been part of it. And to be honest with you, we just weren't really sharp on the day. I give full credit to Northern Illinois. They're a really talented team. They deserve their national ranking. And they are very good going forward. They scored a lot of goals. That being said, I just didn't think we were very sharp on the day. And when you're playing against really high level competitive teams, it's something where you have to play well. And I think to a man, our team will say that we weren't at our best. And that being said, we were still able to push the game into extra time. So I do think there's some positives that you can take from it, like anything else. But we'll be better off for it, and we still are in a position where we can control our own destiny to get to the conference tournament. So, it's just about putting our heads down and getting back to work. And I feel like that's what we've done this week.
Yeah, you mentioned the conference standings. You're currently in fourth place, but it's a very tight group up top. What are your impressions of the conference? You've seen a lot of these teams right now. You get West Virginia coming up in a few days, but you've seen some of these unfamiliar teams from their past in the MAC. You haven't seen in a few years. Just what are your impressions of the conference and how competitive it's been?
Yeah, it's a great league. It's everything that we thought it would be. I don't know what the actual RPI new updated RPIs are, but at one point there was 5 teams in the top 45, and only 4 go to the conference tournament. So, I think that speaks to the strength and the depth of the conference. There's some really good teams in this league, and West Virginia is definitely one of those. So we have a huge task on our hand on Thursday, and I think overall the impressions are just a lot of respect for the coaches and the programs that they've built. We haven't played everyone just yet, but we're familiar with Southern, which is our last game, and I think just in summary, it's exactly what we thought it would be. Some good people that are some good coaches and run some great programs, and we're just trying to be considered in that category as well too. And again, putting our head down and working and seeing what comes from that.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, you have West Virginia coming up on October 28th. They lead the conference in corner kicks. I know it's maybe a random stat, but does that show just their aggression on the offensive end and creating those set pieces and creating those opportunities to score on plays like that?
Yeah, they're just a really good team overall. Really well coached, super organized, really technical team. Move the ball very well. They're a really good team. So that stat doesn't surprise me. I think at one point they were 4th in the country. So I mean, they're a really good team. They're good in all facets. They're good on the ball. They're very solid, tough to break down defensively, but just a really good overall team. So similar to what I said earlier with respect to playing against good teams, is we'll have to be sharp in order to get a result or get some points from the game. So we're up for the challenge. We're looking forward to it. You like to play against big name programs, and you like to play important games at the end of the season. And if you are, you've put yourself in a place to do so. So we'll keep all those things in mind. And again, maybe the theme of the call is just put our head down and go to work. And we'll let the chips fall where they may.
When you face a team like West Virginia, obviously you mentioned they're a high rank nationally, but also just with those corner kicks, how do you scout a team that takes so many of those attempts? Is it to the point where you've probably seen all of the ones that they can do, or is it something that you have extra emphasis and practice on as far as preparing for a team that's going to have a large amount of set pieces that you're probably going to have to defend against?
Yeah, we do our homework in terms of watching film and watching their previous games and break it down to specific dead ball situations as well too, to see if we can pick up any little nuances or tricks of the trade that maybe they do. But at the end of the day, you've got to go out there and execute it. We can know exactly what they're doing, and we have a pretty good idea of what that would be, but you still have to play the game. And that's the same thing with dead ball scenarios or anything within the game, is that you can have a plan and hopefully it's the right one, but you have to go out there and you have to be crisp and clean and putting that plan together and see where it leads you.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time. We greatly appreciate it. And safe travels to West Virginia. And I will end on this. I mean, this is a long road trip. You mentioned you have to fly to Pittsburgh. We talked off camera about it, but you got to go to Pittsburgh and bus in. What goes into that? Is just some extra hydration? Do you want to get the guys some extra sleep before you even make the trip? How do you prepare for that? Because that is a long trip for you guys to have to take a middle of the week too on a Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, the trip to Ohio a couple weeks ago was probably a little more challenging, so I think we're up for it. But we're excited. We weren't the best version of ourselves on Saturday, so I just think the opportunity to bounce back and play another game quickly is the right move right now. And if that was in Atlanta or Morgantown, West Virginia, wherever it may be, we'll be ready for it. We'll do all the extra things all the typical things that we do in preparing for road trips and games of the like. I think with college kids, sleep is always a thing. So we're always trying to find ways for them to sleep for sure.
Well, they'll have a long flight to sleep on the plane and then the bus ride to Morgantown. Thanks, Coach, for your time once again, and good luck against West Virginia.
Absolutely. Thank you.